All right, they say that it's students learn better when they see the person that's actually talking, but I'm too lazy to get my Loom app up, so we are going to do this with me talking blindly. So the first problem is they want you to find the equation of a tangent line to the curve at a given point. We at one time, I was part of a department where we asked, well, what's the minimum thing that you would need to have if you graduated from a Calc 1 class? Well, you need to be able to find the slope and the tangent line. So we're going to do this, but we're going to do this taking the derivative the long way. And you might have seen a shorter way to do this in your high school class. It doesn't matter. The long way actually is the way that I use more often when I have an applied problem. So you do need to learn this, and I'm going to walk you through it a few times in these videos so that you get used to doing it. It's not about smartness, it's mostly about bookkeeping. So the first step is to plug into the secant slope formula. So plug into this formula. Here's my f of x. I'm doing number 6, which is similar to your assigned number 5. And so I put x plus h in these in for x. That's all you do. And notice I did this separately. I just wrote f of x plus h out. A tip is to expand here. Don't put it all together as a fraction, just because that's too much to look at. And it'll save you a lot of grief. So FOIL that first thing out, square the first term, this times that double, square the last term. And here I'm using Pascal's triangle. You might not have seen that before, but for the purposes of my problem, I have a cube, you don't. And all the problems you're assigned, you don't have anything more than a square. Simplifying that further, I took this -2 inside, so I have this distributed inside. So I did all this to make my life easier at the end. All right, now I'm going to put it into f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So I take that beast of f of x plus h that I just simplified. There it is. Subtract f of x. There it is. Very important. I put up the parentheses. You don't put up the parentheses, you're going to get hurt. These are the places where people get hurt. This is all about bookkeeping. So you might say to your instructor, you took off points, I forgot my parentheses. It's actually, that's what the problem's about. It's not about smartness, it's about bookkeeping. And so when I take off the parentheses, the signs change. And that's the error that's going to show up. You do enough of these problems, you'll know when you made a mistake. Because these two terms are usually, they cancel out. And so we wipe them out. I picked red as my pen to cancel. They drop out. And then another step that usually students skip is they just try to slash out H's everywhere. Don't do that. Factor out the H's. A little bit of slowness here is going to save you more time in the end, and you're going to get the answer right. I guarantee that. So factor out that H. So h comes out, I get 2x. See, if I distribute back, I get back to where I started. And then cancel your h. Take that extra step. It's not going to give you a cramp, and you're going to get the answer right. So now the h's are gone, and I'm left with this. Last step is to let h slide to 0. So this is correct notation. It's a shorthand for actually writing limit. So I just put an arrow. It just means this converges to this as h approaches 0. So if I drop h equals 0 into this nasty expression, I'm just left with 2x minus 6x squared. And if you know how to do the derivative using power rule already, you can check your work. So that's the formula for the slope, which I covered in class. This is my formula for the slope, and now I can find the slope at any given point. And I did this on purpose with you so that you can practice doing it. It's practice is what makes this good, because it's about bookkeeping. All right, so this is my f prime of x. It's right here. It's my slope formula. If I want the slope of the tangent line, I just take the x value, which is 1, and I plug it in to this derivative formula. So I plug in for x1, and I get -4. That's my slope. Now I find the equation of the line. I'm big on labels. This is x1, this is y1. You plug it into the line formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And so I get, notice I'm really careful here. I have my parentheses around. And so I get negative 4x plus 3 when all is said and done. I don't really need to check that. I know I'm right because I was careful with my bookkeeping. So there's no business of, hey, I just made a small mistake. I forgot made a minus sign error here. This is what this problem's about. It's about bookkeeping. And so far as someone has been good at this, and acted like they were smart, they're not. They're just good at bookkeeping. All right. Good luck with this one. Yours is easier. I did the harder one.